Hello, welcome to Daily Hope. My name is George Negrete. Well, we are just one day away from Christmas Eve and 2 days from Christmas Day, if you're watching this video on the day that the video is released. This past weekend, Pastor Ryan preached a message on coming home to peace, part of Bethel Church's Advent series as we're leading up to the Christmas Eve service. And what a great message that was. I encourage you, if you missed it, please go out and check that out on Bethel's YouTube channel, Bethel Church SJ. Pastor Ryan talked about how we can have peace even in the midst of storms and grief. And he used a passage of scripture in Luke chapter 2 where it was an announcement about Jesus' birth to the shepherds in the field by some angels. I want to read that passage of scripture to you to show you how in that passage of scripture there's a interesting story there about darkness and bright light. Let's read that passage. Luke chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. It says, "That night there were shepherds staying in the fields nearby, guarding their flocks of sheep. Suddenly an angel of the Lord appeared among them, and the radiance of the Lord's glory surrounded them, and they were terrified." When I think about Pastor Ryan's message about peace in the midst of storms and grief, and I look back and reflect on this passage of scripture in Luke chapter 2, one of the things that really stands out to me is that even though there is darkness around us, that doesn't mean that God's peace can't be there or that his peace is not existing within that darkness. As a matter of fact, the darker the darkness, the greater God's peace. And we see that in Luke chapter 2, this story of the angels coming to the shepherds, and the radiance of their brightness just is almost blinded them in the fields. And we need to be reminded, and I think we are when we listen to Pastor Ryan's message, about the fact that even in the midst of difficult situations where it feels like we don't have any peace, if we will look for God, we will find him in the midst of that storm. And I would say this, that the greater the storm, the greater God's peace in your life. The greater the grief that you're experiencing, the greater the peace that you can experience from God. This coming weekend, I'm going to be preaching the message on December 22nd on coming home to hope. And this theme about God's greater in the midst of greater darkness is also seen in the prophecy about Jesus in Isaiah chapters 8 and 9. So I hope that you'll tune in to that message as well next week on Coming Home to Hope. And I hope that you are encouraged today that even if you are experiencing some suffering, you are experiencing some grief, please know that you can look to the Lord and you will find peace with him. That is his promise to you. That's who Jesus is. He is the giver of peace. He's the Prince of Peace, and you can find peace in him. I hope to see you on Christmas Eve at our Christmas Eve service, December 24th, 5 p.m. at our drive-in service in San Jose, or join us online at bethel.org. God bless you.